Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're flying from Washington DC to Mexico City and then to Guadalajara. Every time I fly out of Mexico City, I look over the abandoned mega airport and wonder what it would look like if it was completed. You can see just how massive it was going to be, and also you can see that Mexico City was built on a lake, which makes it even more difficult to complete it. Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Today I am here in Guadalajara, Mexico. I'm staying at my dad's apartment. So this is the view from our current place. This right here is the country club, golf club. This place that we're in right here is just for now. That's Manola. My dad's out walking the other dogs. We have 4 French bulldogs. But anyways, I'll give you an apartment tour maybe tomorrow. Today we are gonna head out into the city because I've been working on a little project tracking my ancestors here in Mexico. I'm half Russian, half Mexican, so I'm tracking the Mexican side right now. I've been using this website called Family Search, and I've made it all the way back into the 1700s. What I found is that my family came from this city, which we had no idea, and then they went to Copala in Sinaloa, and then where my dad was born, in Mazatlan in Sinaloa. So just by coincidence, we're here in the city. Let me show you what the documents look like. This is the marriage document in Guadalajara, and we know where they got married, and we also know where they were buried. So actually the places where they got married and where they were buried when they died are about a mile away from our current place, which is just pure coincidence because we had no idea that our family came from the city. So today we're gonna head out and try to find those places. Hey, Benji, Nikita. And right now before we head out, we're gonna have some mango with salt and lemon. I always get the words for lemon and lime confused in English because in Spanish it's called limon. Anyways, we're making our way down to our Uber, which will take us to the old historic center of Guadalajara. Every time I come to Mexico, I see lots of new construction. I feel like the cities are growing so fast, and in general, the economy is strong and diversified. One of the big projects that you can see here in Guadalajara is the light rail system, although in my opinion, it still needs to grow significantly in order for it to be a viable way of moving around the city. Our first stop today as we make our way to the center of Guadalajara is the Museo Panteon de Belen, which according to my research is the cemetery where some of my ancestors are buried.
Aparte de las enfermedades que ya había. Ellos llegaron a encontrar familias enteras apedrando un perro con tal de sustentar su necesidad para alimentarse.
The guided tour is worth doing, and some of the key info I can share with you is that the cemetery was opened in 1848, and it was designed by a famous architect called Manuel Gomez Ibarra, who was also a Freemason. So Freemasonry was just beginning in Mexico, and the cemetery's design is full of Masonic symbolism, and you don't even have to look too closely to see it. Also, the cemetery was built next to a hospital, and there were 2 sections. The one you see here was for wealthier citizens, and then there was a large field where everyone else was buried with no markings at all. There are many legends that originate from the cemetery, and this brings a lot of tourists to the museum for the nighttime tours. They also have a big event on the Day of the Dead, which is a very important holiday in Mexico. There is a myth, for example, about a vampire that lives under this tree in a grave. You know, it brings a lot of tourists. Also, this is the grave of the Cuervo family. You probably know the tequila brand. The grave here is covered in Freemason designs. And at the center of the cemetery, this area was reserved for famous citizens like presidents and authors, although in 1957 they were moved to a separate location, which I'll show you later. And then the spire with the tiles is also a design that you'll see later in the video at the main cathedral in the city, which was designed by the same architect. As we were walking closer to the center of Guadalajara, this church caught my eye. It's the Sanctuary of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which began construction in 1777, but it's also the place where some of my ancestors were married back in the early 1800s. Walking during the day in the historic center is really safe. I personally have never felt unsafe in Mexico. Obviously, you have to be smart, don't walk alone in areas you don't know, and don't be flashy, and don't walk alone at night. I would say the same thing anywhere else. There are lots of negative articles about Mexico and how unsafe it is in the media, but if you pay attention too much to that, then you'll never want to come, and you're not going to experience firsthand just how safe it really is. One of the things that I like about Mexico is that they place a lot of importance on things like family, art, culture, community, and tradition, and you can see this in the way that history is preserved, even in big cities. We've made it to the historic center, and you'll notice the cathedral with the tile-covered spires, right next to the square where the famous citizens are now buried. Remember, they were moved from the cemetery we were at earlier to this location. So the cathedral's top, the spires, were destroyed in an earthquake in 1818. And Ibarra, the architect, was hired to rebuild them in his new golden yellow and blue tile design. These are the colors of the Kingdom of Galicia in Spain, and Guadalajara was a part of the New Galicia under the Spanish Empire's conquest in the early 1500s. When I interned at a law firm here in the city, I was able to go into some of the government buildings and meet the local politicians. I think that preserving the historic center is very important for the city and all cities in Mexico because they form a key part of the national identity and they also keep the history alive.
allá está la Catedral de Guadalupe.
So we made it back home, and as you can see, we keep the dogs separate because Manola, our white dog, she is recovering from back surgery. In the next video, we will either go visit the town of Tequila nearby, or I'll do an apartment and neighborhood tour. Anyways, I have a lot of videos that are already filmed, I just have to edit them, and that's what I'm working on right now. Do subscribe to the channel, and you won't miss out on the videos. Alright, so that was a productive little trip. But anyways, I hope you guys liked the video. I'm gonna go actually wash my hands and then take a shower. So I'll see you guys in the next one.